Hello everyone, it's Daniel here from InfoVest. Hope you're all doing well. So let's talk about offices. What's going on with offices? We're seeing big problems starting to show up. They're starting to creep up. Let's not forget, we've been talking about this on this channel, that we have $1.5 trillion yet to see come to maturity by the end of 2024, 2025, which can be very scary if majority of that amount is defaulted on, right? And why do I say that? Well, we got news recently. So it's an article a little bit older. I'll post the link in the description so you could read up on it. But it basically says Brookfield defaults on 161 million office property debt. So Brookfield Corp funds have defaulted on 161.4 million mortgage for a dozen office buildings, mostly around Washington, D.C., as rising vacancies hit property values. The loan transferred to a special servicer who is working with the bar to execute a pre-negotiation agreement and to determine the path forward according to a filing on the commercial mortgage-backed security. Some landlords are defaulting on debt as borrowing costs surge and prospects of filing up office towers wanes given the rise in remote and hybrid work. Those trends have weighed on values, with prices on high-quality office properties falling 25% in the past year, according to Green Street. About 4.8% of office properties with CMBS were managed by special servicers in March, up from 3.2% a year ago. Now, if I scroll down here, it says, it says here, basically, Brookfield spokesman Carrie, don't know how to say her last name, basically said, we have always focused on quality, so 95% of what we own are trophy and Class A buildings that continue to see strong demand globally and benefit from the flight to quality. Well, good save there. However, in Washington metro area, office properties values have plunged 36% through March from earlier, on par with declines nationwide. And about 43% of workers in the region in DC in the office during the week of April 5th compared to pre-pandemic levels, according to Castle Systems. So there's only about 43% of workers, and we're seeing that it's not at the pre-pandemic levels, right? So overall, right, simple sign like this, simple example where a company like Brookfield, right, and you had other companies out there as well, Blackstone, BlackRock, halting withdrawals, yet to post mark to market, right? Yet to see the true value of these things. And we have a rate hike coming up still in May. Very likely we're going to see that in the US, another 25 basis point rate hikes. You have Bullard, you have Waller, Bostic, basically saying that we still need to fight inflation. Bullard seeing rates at 5.5 to 5.75%. What's going to be really important is to monitor if rates continue to go higher and higher and higher. And even if it doesn't, you get a rate hike and a pause, it's very likely that you're going to get a very long pause until or unless something truly breaks. And you're already getting the cracks, like an article like this today, like Brookfield coming out and having issues with its funds. Same thing you have with the other private equity firms. You have Blackstone and BlackRock with their withdrawal issues, and it's slowly starting to cascade. And don't forget the regional bank issue as well, with the Silicon Valley Bank going under. And guess what? There may be many more regional banks that yet to feel the pain, right? Because if you're seeing levels, right, we're moving in a very different era, right? If this change that we're seeing, this new era where we're getting AI, that things are going to be more robotic and remote, and you're going to be working from home and etc. and less need for you to come to the office, then 100% you're going to see a lot of these people, landlords who own these offices, default and just hand the keys back to the banks and says, hey, you take care of this. I don't want it anymore, right? Which then why, if you remember back at one of Powell's, during Powell's testimony, Powell was asked a question, what do you think is going to happen to these offices, right, that are seeing these vacancies? And if landlords, decide that, these companies, they default and they can't pay back on the mortgages, what's going to happen? And it was such an interesting question, because the way Powell responded to that was literally he was silent for I guess a second or two, and he was literally just shrugged his shoulders like, become residential, right? Those offices are just going to turn into residential if nobody's going to utilize them. And you're seeing that in many of the companies, the decision making, the change that is happening, the need for adapting, especially if you have these low levels of vacancy rates. Then definitely there's no need to occupy such a big space. And you're seeing it in the management, and that's where you're seeing the effects. And that's where this whole issue of these commercial backed mortgage securities, CMBS, comes in. Just rings a bell like 2008, the mortgage backed securities, MBS, but this time with commercial properties. They have a huge burden, which could seep into the regional banks and create cascading contagion effects into other markets as well. And that's why you're seeing the layoffs and the demand crunch. And that is also why, if you see inflation coming down, all because of these fears and the demand that is shrinking. So very interesting to note. Keep an eye out on this. More is going to come out. Even though it's looking like in this month things are rebounding and things are looking good, well, the articles out there like Brookfield and many more, it clearly shows that it's not. So let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the like button, bell icon to be notified on the next video, and I'll see you guys around. Cheers. Bye.